with diligence and manifested phenomenal success in business and in life. So today we're going to be interviewing or having a conversation with Ms. Janice Hollis. And we're going to have her share life experiences with us and tell us the things that our listeners want to know based on conversations and surveys that were created in order to make sure that we're really hitting the areas that people are interested in finding out about. Some amazing people like Ms. Janice Hollis. Hi, Janice. How are you doing today?
I am marvelous, Nakia. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. It is so awesome to have this conversation with you today.
I'm excited. I'm really excited to share today. I really am.
Wonderful. So if you can just briefly or engage with us a little bit about Hollis Media. Tell us about your business, what it is that you do, and what helps you stand out from the rest of the world.
Okay, excellent. Well, Hollis Media Group is a 3-division media company. We deal with publishing, public relations, and we also deal with content development for television and film, which includes scoring for movies or scoring for television series. So we've been very fortunate to have a long run. I've been in business for over 18 years with the Hollis Media Group. And we get a chance to meet people from all walks of life. We take on projects that sometimes are very challenging when it comes to public conversations, but it's an arena that I know will help us produce growth because it causes us to be challenged within ourselves. It causes us to reach out for other people with different expertise, which only enhances us in the long run. So Hollis Media, we try to find ourselves, we try to place ourselves rather in arenas where it matters most.
Okay.
So we look for, that matters.
No, awesome. And I definitely want you to hit on the homeless aspect of what you're doing, that work as well.
Sure. Well, the Homeless Project, I got involved initially as a consultant for the World's Big Sleep Out in New York City with Robert Ellis, and then I was asked to bring it on to Philadelphia, and from there it has mushroomed into 25 cities under the banner of the Nation Sleep Out. But it's the same, we're all doing it on the same day this year. Where number one, we're bringing awareness to chronic homelessness, and number two, we're raising funds for local charities in the cities that are participating. Because we have so many displaced families, so many displaced individuals. And what we're saying to them in a tangible way, this is the kickoff on December the 7th, but we see you because so many people are living faceless in society. And sometimes we don't know the plight of the other person. And we're also taking this opportunity to engage teenagers to utilize social media during this time because of the suicide rates and depression that sets in. Let's be beams of light to encourage people to get through this. Everybody doesn't have the same family structure. Some people are without family biologically because of death or whatever, or being adopted and not having another connection to them. So we get an opportunity to put our hands on the pulse and say, we will make a difference and we won't let you live alone. So this is what this Sleep Out is about. It's multifaceted, but we're looking forward to making a difference, to shaping a new narrative for people who have lost hope.
Awesome. That is absolutely amazing. And there are so many more initiatives that need to be out in the communities and in the environment, just like what you're doing, Janice. Thank you so much for sharing. And, want to find out more about you and have a deeper engaging conversation. But right now, we have a couple of questions about the real world entrepreneurship that we want to engage with you on, okay?
Sure, absolutely.
Awesome. And thank you so much for being with us. So we did a survey and we posed this question. What would you ask someone who has produced millions, if not billions of dollars in business And we got some great responses. So for this segment today, for what we're going to talk to you about, Janet, we're going to ask you this first question. Which is more important, good marketers, good salespeople? Good marketers or good salespeople? Now, I've paid a small fortune for marketing with questionable results at best. Am I missing something?
No, not necessarily. Well, I'll say yes and no. Obviously, the results speak for themselves, so that's a yes. If you didn't get what you paid for, but what has to be inserted or integrated into marketing campaigns is the messaging, and also being on the platform to reach the targeted audience that you want as your end user. And sometimes that's lost in translation because, especially with online marketing, it's a little bit more difficult because that's a very crowded market with everybody being bombarded with pop-up ads and all that kind of stuff. What I often share with people is this, that you have to have a multi-pronged approach. Don't just rely on social media. You need print marketing with your newspapers or magazines if you can afford them. Definitely you need radio, and you need some television spots as well. The 15-second branding spots will do wonders for you. And then there's this other piece of technology that a lot of people are not familiar with. It's called blip boards, which if you're on a billboard, blip board. It's like a 7-second blip.
Okay.
But you see these digital ads everywhere. Yeah. But you need integration. You need integration to set your messaging apart.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. And I've never heard of a blip board. I'm sure we've seen those everywhere. It's just some of the terminology is different.
Yeah.
Who it is you're talking to. So definitely educate me, because when you're educating everybody. Thank you.
Yes.
Question. And we're going to have another question coming up with you in just a second. Is there anything else that you wanted to share about, marketing versus salespeople?
Well, these are the people who are representing your brand. Now, salespeople, of course, that's a different visual face, but marketing is equally, as the marketers are equally as important to ensure what's true to your core and what you're offering is being disseminated in the messaging, and that you are being challenged to look for other markets, because sometimes marketers will stay within a certain parameter because it's like a soft market, but there are so many undeveloped markets that need to be developed. And the way you find out if this is something that you've not tapped into is look at what is exactly you're offering and who's responding to what you've already put out there. And so there's always a need for assessment from start to finish with your campaigns. But once again, having a multifaceted integration system is key to having a successful campaign. And I'll leave you with this. And I always tell people, you got to look at what McDonald's does, AT&T, Sprint, Wendy's, Burger King. They've been around forever, but they never forget to tell the consumer where to spend their money. You see television ads, you have radio ads, you have billboards, you have print ads, you have social media. So we don't need to recreate something that already works. We just need to raise the money to be a part of that game, because that's a different platform, but it's a very lucrative platform because you're catching people from every angle. They have left nothing unturned. And if you're and most people envision themselves being that grand, but there's a cost to being at that level.
Okay. And you said something that triggered another layer of what I believe would be beneficial for people that are entrepreneurs that don't really know because you have so much history and experience. So, I mean, it says you're a diamond in a haystack. And how should an entrepreneur determine when they should level up on their marketing? When should they look at salespeople versus marketers?
Well, I think you should have a little bit of both, and okay. Well, it also depends upon how your business is structured, because you have professional organizations out there like AARP, who will give you that kind of expertise at a reasonable rate. Don't try to, if you don't have the budget, don't put yourself in debt to try to make money off. You need to set aside some funds where you can hire the expertise that you need. But there are free services that you can tap into based upon the structure of your company. I would seek that out, as even with marketing and with salespeople. And it takes a moment to assess your data. So that means you need another set of eyes to help you read the analytics. What does this really mean? Now, of course, we can look at the bank account and we already know what that means. But when there are other options on the table that have not been concerned, you need another set of eyes, eyes of experience. And then you need to incorporate innovation with whatever you're doing, having a fresh look, not just from the old expert, but from that younger generation who has a footprint or a pulse, their hands on the pulse of what's really happening in your particular industry, where you want to go. So you're constantly engaging and getting information. That's an ongoing lifestyle that every entrepreneur must have in order to stay relevant. Because you're going to need people who have weathered the storms, and you're going to need those who can look at what has already happened and see a fresh approach, possibly to an old idea.
Wow, thank you so much for that, Janice. It sounds like people really need to engage and invest in marketers. And we have another question for you right now. So our next question from the survey was, are there any businesses that you can put part-time efforts in and get full-time results? Several of my friends want me to get into what they call business opportunities, where I can work them part-time and make money. But I'm kind of skeptical about that because there's so many different ones, and you really never know what your niche is, or you don't want to invest money in this over here and invest money and time and that over there, and then at the end of the day, you're in all these different opportunity ventures and nothing's really hitting the mark.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, I'm sorry, but your gut is going to tell you. And we should never overlook the feeling that we are experiencing at the moment that we're getting ready to do something. And being a person of faith, many times we have to steal away for a moment and have that conversation with God and say, okay, this is what's before me. Is this something I should invest my time in? And of course, if we're ambitious, if we are go-getters, it's easy to tap over into that energy rather than being still for a moment to seek direction. Because it seems like, oh, well, I'm not really applying myself. When in actuality, you're doing the best application is to ask for guidance. And the other thing is, if it takes away from your core, if you're always feeling depressed by being involved, or if there's always a cloud of confusion, it's a no. It's just as simple. It should be a no matter how desperate you are about things. And sometimes you really have to give things back and stay on course and be open for the connection and believe that God will help you make the right connections at the right time. Our job is to be open and to stay ready, not to jump at everything, but to stay ready. Now, regarding being able to make money on something that's part-time, yes, you can. For instance, I just received an offer 2 days ago to work on the souvenir book for the Super Bowl.
Wow.
That's a part-time, that's something that's part-time, because it's a matter of connecting people with a certain budget who want to have their business featured in the Super Bowl souvenir book. Yeah, so there's to that. Yeah, I can do that because they're only yeah. So that's that. Because I don't have to search around the world to find folks for this, because this is already predefined. If you have $100,000 that you can invest, this is the opportunity for you to be a part of this commercial and a part of the Super Bowl souvenir book that people are going to take home. So it's not going to take.
Money.
So that's not going to take me all day. Yeah, it's already predefined for me on that one.
That is awesome. I mean, it's people like you in the world that really people need to engage with, and people need to have real serious conversation with, or just, pick your brain if you're willing to allow people to just get a bit of the knowledge and experience that you have, because it allows so many people to open up and be like, man, this is what I see as a common person. But at the end of the day, what makes me different from Miss Hollis with Hollis Media? What makes me different? What makes me not feel like I'm good enough and capable of doing the same thing equally, better, or, darn near close to it? So people really need to be able to hear this and engage and see themselves in you and be able to relate. And based on this conversation that we're having at this very moment, and I really acknowledge you for it, and I thank you, because people can see themselves, and that's important.
Yes, it really is, and it's okay if you don't get everything that you want at the first try. Just take what you have, assess it, and apply it at another level. Some people they drown in guilt, they drown in disappointment, when all of these things are just real tools. Because if we got everything the way we wanted the first time, we would stop growing. And growth is gradual, growth is painful. And you guys hear me, on other shows, I cry. Listen, it's hard sometimes. It's very hard at times. It's very disappointing at times. But what is prescribed and assigned to my destiny is bigger than my pain, is bigger than my frustration, is bigger than the nonsense that I have to deal with at times, is bigger. And I'm looking for that outcome, because it's something God entrusted to my life, and I refuse to go through life as a failure. I hate losing. I was an athlete in high school. I played golf. I hate losing. I hate losing. So many times, Nakia, you have to regroup. And you have to know it's okay to regroup. And then you have to have a support system that feeds you with positivity. And sometimes we have to get out of our familiar surroundings and find new energy to keep you alive. You got to find new energy that's going to motivate you, challenge you, but will also add value to you. So when things are not adding value to you as a person, that's something that is no longer serving a purpose in your life in this season. And many times, and I'll say this very quickly, many times we find ourselves ahead of the season. We have a vision, but it's not the right timing. And many times we won't walk it back. And once again, put it before the Creator. What do I do with this now? Because many people will tell you this, give up. Oh, you should do something else. You should just forget about this. But you have to have a knowing in your heart what you have been given and stick to it. And when you have to pause, when you have to be redirected, be open to the redirection, because it's going to lead you where you need to be. And you won't always have to go step by step, because God will place someone in your life that will give you a quantum leap. What would have taken 5 years because of now who you know can take you 6 months, or it can take you where you've been trying to go within at least 7 months to a year. But it's about you taking that moment to reassess. And when you ask for guidance, don't worry, you're not going to be disappointed. God is just waiting to say, hey, I've been waiting to have this conversation because I already know the plans I have for you. I already know where you're ending up. So our steps are not filled with stumbling in the dark, but it takes a moment. It takes conscious maturity to do this, to be successful. And you can spin your wheels being active, but it doesn't mean that you're going to have results.
Yeah.
But to get the results that you want to take a moment. You want to ask for help is a great word. Help me.
You got to get out of your way.
All right, I'm done. I'm done.
No, you're great. Janice, it's like sometimes people really need to get that. They need to get out of their own way. And, looking at the part-time opportunities and making full-time money, right? Making full-time work out of that part-time experience. Sometimes I really want to not step over what you said about initially when you have that opportunity come up. How do you feel? What resonates with you at that moment? And thank you so very much. We just got to get out of our own way. So we have great conversations, and we have one final question for you, Janice. And the final survey question was, should I take out a loan to finance my business? Is it easier to get a business loan than a personal loan? Is it true that the Small Business Association Administration, SBA, has to give you a loan if a bank turns you down 3 times? They won't give it to you unless the bank have turned you down 3 times. So can you address those questions of the survey for me, please?
Yes, I would say to anyone in business, be it small or large, be creative when it comes to financing. The model has changed so drastically, and there are many platforms where you can attract investors. You should always have an investors relations department associated to your business. Many times people want to go it alone, and sometimes that's not the smart thing if you're trying to expand. But if you can, number one, first create a platform where you're not in debt, but you can get people to invest in what you're doing, I would go that route first before I take out a loan. Because there are other entrepreneurs who have made millions and millions of dollars just looking to be a part of another conversation. That would be my first approach. You have many platforms to offer this, but what I would suggest very quickly is that you sit down with someone who can draft your conversation succinctly and then put it out into the universe. And lastly, do something for somebody now. So give what you're looking for others to give to you. Start sowing those seeds, because that's what you're going to get to keep. We always get to keep what we give. That's just the law of reciprocity. What you make happen for others, others are going to make happen for you. But I would not go into debt to start a business.
That is great advice. And I'm sure so many people need to hear that, because a lot of the misconception is you have to immediately go to a bank and try to get a loan. You have to immediately try to have all this money together before you can start your business. When a lot of people started their businesses out of the garage, there's plenty of names out there in the world for people to be able to pull one out of the hat and be able to relate to. And what type of programs, or where should they start? Are there keywords that they need to put in the internet? Is it a type of organization or entity that they need to reach out to in order to set themselves up with having somebody to support them, and also having someone to be able to guide them in that right direction to where they can do what you're essentially said that they need to do and be able to partner up.
Well, yeah, they do need to partner up. Once again, it depends upon the type of structure. However, I would start with those with the expertise. Once again, AARP is full of retirees who are giving back because that's their way of keeping their knowledge base strong, being fresh as well. In addition, partnering with a college, because I sit on the board at Penn State University, and we work with students. We work with students who are looking to start their own business. We come in as business owners to help them look at models differently. They need to be able to monetize something. So even there, you have an opportunity to garner fresh knowledge because it's being taught in college. But you want to set up something where the students can also participate in assessing what you've been doing to give you feedback. This is another way to get free services. And you're helping them succeed it too because they have to do this for a grade.
Wow.
So I would not look to spend money all the time, but you most certainly can. As a matter of fact, Nakia, what I will do is when I get situated at the office, I'll send over some resources. That way you can come back and share with your network what they can do at a small level to get moving. That's the first thing, get moving.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for that, Janice. And I mean, people never know where the diamonds are. People never know how much value a person can bring them. But just sitting there having a conversation, an authentic conversation, a transparent conversation with someone makes a huge difference because I've gotten so much knowledge and so much value from this conversation with you today. And it just resonated with me with the Women's Business Association that I was a part of. Got a scholarship with them to get my certificate of entrepreneurship, and at the same time got my business associate's degree in business management. I had already had my bachelor's, but there was an opportunity that came up, and I qualified and got my degree and a certificate to further me out. And through Houston Community College, when I participated in that program, from the scholarship, having the opportunity to do an internship with business owners and being in other activities and entrepreneurial programs that was a gateway to opening up my eyes and allowing me to see what was available, what resources were there, being able to engage and talk with people that made a huge difference for me. And like you said, timing is everything. I have so much knowledge, so much resources, and I am a plethora of what there is to share with the world. But it wasn't necessarily my time to be in the industry or in the field where I was going and where I wanted to be. But look at where I am now, and look at the opportunity that has presented itself because I kept planting seeds. I kept doing work pro bono. I kept doing these other things, just as you're saying, and being able to make a difference for others to help them get where they want it. And you never know ultimately where your platform is going to be. You never know ultimately where God is going to put you and allow you to make things happen for other people. And it's not to look down on yourself. It's just that's what happened, right? That's what's so, and you were able to make a difference while other people were able to make a difference in the lives of so many other people in the world. And I just really acknowledge you, and I will definitely share the resources and share the information that you're going to forward to me. Janice, this is just really amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. So we're going to go ahead. Go ahead.
No, this is so wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Just absolutely wonderful, Nakia. Now, may I share my website for the Sleep Out?
Can you share what? I didn't hear you.
The website for the Sleep Out for what we're doing in December.
Yes, we're actually going to get to that right now.
Okay.
So just 2 seconds. Now, I definitely want our listeners, Janice, to learn more about Hollis Media and the work that we do with the homeless. And once again, we thank you so much for being a great guest, an amazing guest, my first guest on the Nakia Franklin Show.
Oh, thank you.
And this is so awesome. So please, yes, share all of your contact information so we know how to reach you. And our listeners can get in contact with you and support you in your ventures and what you have going on.
Oh, thank you so much, Nakia. This has been so much fun. I really do love sharing. I really do. Well, Hollis Media Group, of course, is a media firm. We have 3 divisions with publishing, media relations, and content development for television and film. That also includes scoring. Presently, what we're in partnership with is the Sleep Out program. It's the Nation Sleep Out. That's happening really globally on December the 7th. But in the United States, it's under the umbrella of the Nation Sleep Out. And the way people can participate, because we're planning on giving 15,000 pairs of high performance thermals before January. So there are ways that folks can donate. The URL is www.nationsleepout.us. That's nationsleepout.us is the URL. You can get a bracelet, a solidarity bracelet that says "Faceless, we see you." That's part of our documentary that we're working on simultaneously, because we want to bring light to people who are sitting in darkness, just to say, number one, you're not alone. And this is a great way for us to kick off 2020, giving back and empowering other people to regain their dignity and hope in life. And I just want to say thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So I appreciate the time that we've had the opportunity to share today, Janice. And thank you so much again for being available and sharing your time with us, because time is valuable. And being able to provide information and resources to our listeners that will not go unnoticed. Thank you for being part of the Nakia Franklin Show. And we look forward to continuing our relationship and engagement now and in the future. Have an amazing day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. So again, thank you. This has been the Nakia Franklin Show. Until next time, we look forward to having you back. Join us again.